Shalom. Hope everyone had a good Thanksgiving. It is now our first Shabbat in the Hebrew month of Kislev. In this very dark season, we get to come together and add a little bit more light. It's also first Shabbat after our first snow here in New England, just a little bit, but it is winter, so welcome everyone. Shabbat Shalom. Welcome back, Michael McLaughlin. Welcome back to our rabbinic intern, Sarah Pollock. If you haven't met Sarah yet, Sarah is with us this year and fifth-year student at Hebrew College, and you'll meet Sarah's wife, Ilana, and son, Avri, as well, and probably you'll hear Avri first. So we're so glad you're with us. And, during COVID, we kind of stopped this practice, but I just want to, give you a minute if you'd like to greet someone, wish one another Shabbat Shalom. Welcome to those on our live stream, and then we'll continue on page 24. Page 24, we welcome in the Shabbat messengers, the Shabbat angels of peace. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon, Yimelech Malachei Amlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. As we prepare to bring in the light of Shabbat, just an invitation to leave your week behind, leave any work, leave any stress and worries for hopefully the next 24 hours or so to move into our weekly gift of rest and joy and peace. We'll turn back to pages 2 and 3, and it's an honor to invite Sarah to light our Shabbat, or bless our Shabbat candles this evening.
As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we, by our lives, give light to all who behold us. As their brightness reminds us of the generation of Israel who have kindled light, so may we, in our own way, be among those who kindle light. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher hishanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner Shabbat Shalom. And we'll continue together in the English on
page 9. We offer thanks, O God, for this Shabbat which unites us in faith and hope, for Shabbat holiness which inspires sacred living, for Shabbat memories glowing even in darkness, for Shabbat peace born of friendship and love. We offer thanks and blessing, O God. And we'll continue with Psalm 96 on page 13. Shiru Ladonai Shir Chadash, sing unto God a new song as our souls especially get renewed each Shabbat. Shir Ladonai Shir Chadash, Shir Ladonai on page 20 as we welcome in the Sabbath bride with Lecha Dodi. We'll join in verses 1, 2, 5, and 9. And on that last verse, if you're able, you're welcome to rise, face the doors to bring Shabbat in. Lecha Dodi likrat kala B'nei Shabbat v'kabela Lecha Dodi likrat kala B'nei Shabbat v'kabela Shamor zachor v'dibor echad Yishmianu el ha-meyuchad Adonai echad u'shemo echad L'shul tiferet v'litila Lecha Dodi likrat kala B'nei Shabbat v'kabela Lecha Dodi likrat kala B'nei Shabbat v'kabela Likrat Shabbat lechu v'nacha Yihi b'kor ha'veracha Mirosh mikedem nesucha Sof ma'aseh b'machshava tchila Lecha Dodi likrat kala B'nei Shabbat v'kabela Lecha Dodi likrat kala standing and turn to page 26 for Chatzi Kaddish. Yitgadal v'yitgadash Shemei Rabba Be'alma divrach Yirutei v'yamlich malchutei B'chayechon of Yom Echon U'chayei dechol Beit Yisrael Bagala Bagala Uvizman Kariv Veimeru Amen Yehei Shmei Rabba Mevorach Le'olam olam me'amaya Yitbarach Yitbarach V'yishabach V'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh V'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal Shemei Tekudasha B'richu La'ela min kol berchata v'shirata Tushbechata v'nechemata Da'amiran be'alma Vayimaru. Amen. We can find our call to prayer, page 28. Let's read together our blessing for creation on the top of page 31. Praise to you, Adonai our God, from whom the evening flows. Your wisdom sets the way on which time and season glide. Your breath guides the sail of the stars. Creator of the tide of time and light, you guide the current of day into night. As heaven spans to infinity, you set its course for eternity. Praise to you, Adonai our God, from whom the evening flows. Baruch atah Adonai, Ha'ma'ariv Aravim. We'll join together on page 32. It's an honor to invite Becca Heyman to sing with us. 6 lines up from the bottom in the Hebrew, Ki Heim Chayenu. Following Torah lengthens our days and lengthens our lives.
Beorek Yameh
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Ve'olam Avad. Please be seated as we continue on page 36. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha bechol levavcha uvechol nafshecha uvechol miodecha ve'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi metzavecha hayom al levavecha Veshinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam b'shitecha b'beitecha uv'lechtecha v'derech uv'shochecha uv'kumecha uv'shartam leot al yadecha Ve'hayu letotavot beinenecha Uchtavtam al mezuzot beitecha uvisharecha leman tizkeru va'asitem et kol mitzvotai Vitem keroshim lelohechem Ani Adonai Elohechem Asher hotzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim liot lachem lelohim Ani Adonai Elohechem Adonai Elohechem Emet. And let's join together on page 39. Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before ever we stood at Sinai's foot, that wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt, that there is a better place, a promised land, that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness, that there is no way to get from here to there except by joining hands, marching together. Michael is setting us up for a little march. Page 40 will join in our Song of the Sea, our Song of Redemption. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar ba'kodesh, mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar ba'kodesh. Nora tehilot, osef ha'ele, Nora tehilot, osef ha'ele, Adonai imloch le'olam ha'ed. Malchutecha ra'u vanecha, bokei hayam lifnei Moshe u'Miriam, Ze'eli anu ve'amru, Ze'eli anu ve'amru, Adonai imloch le'olam ha'ed. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar ba'kodesh, mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar ba'kodesh. שנאמר כי פד אדוני את יעקב וגלו מיד חזק ממנו ברוך אתה אדוני גאל ישראל. We'll continue on page 42 as well as some English words on your supplement page, especially as darkness descends and as our world continues to reel in pain. We offer Hashkivenu every evening to offer words of peace that we may find rest and wake up to new life and new days, that God's Sukkot Shalom, God's sheltering presence will spread over all of us. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom V'hamidenu shomreinu l'chaim Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom V'hamidenu shomreinu l'chaim. Spread the shelter of your peace over us. Guide us in wisdom, compassion, and trust. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom V'hamidenu shomreinu l'chaim. Save us for the sake of your name. Shield us from hatred, sorrow, and pain. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom V'hamidenu shomreinu l'chaim. It's an honor to invite Sarah to share some words of Torah at this point in our service. A little different than usual, but I think you'll see why.
Yeah, thank you for letting me mix things up. So I'll just read again the translation of the Hashkivenu, the prayer we just read. Spread the shelter of your peace over us. Guide us in wisdom, compassion, and trust. So the Hashkivenu prayer was written by the rabbis in the 4th century. And the prayer envisions God as a guide and a shelter during the long night ahead, and expresses gratitude to God for watching over us in challenging and dark times. It gives voice to our doubts and fears as we yearn for protection and hope at a frightening crossroads between light and dark, wakefulness and sleep, between life and death. The prayer attends to one of our most basic human instincts, the fear of our own vulnerability, which for many of us feels even stronger in the dark. I think back to the first nights with our son Avri, who you just saw. Things that felt manageable during the day somehow felt insurmountable once darkness had fallen. Each minute that passed felt like it stretched into eternity, and the worry about how we would get through the night felt heavy. the constant Googling about whether something we were experiencing was normal, whether we should wake him up to change his diaper or let him keep sleeping, standing over him frozen until we saw the comforting rise and fall of his chest to let us know that he was breathing. At times, I felt uncertain if the night would ever end, possibly thinking that we would be enveloped in darkness forever. Now, a little more than 2 years later, I long for the stillness of night, for a moment when I can sit in quiet before turning to the many tasks that I didn't cross off of my to-do list during the day. When we put Avri to bed, we sing the Shema and the Hashkivenu to him, trusting that God will protect him in the night and comfort him. There's something profoundly comforting about the basic human terms in which this prayer speaks. Some prayers are lofty, they talk about salvation and redemption, but Hashkivenu feels relatable. Darkness is scary, whether because there's a real physical threat hiding in the shadows, or because darkness lets thoughts of fear, anxiety creep in that don't have a place to hide in the light of day. In the prayer, we ask God to protect us while we sleep, enabling us to rest peacefully and wake up again in the morning, restored to life. It doesn't get much more primal or universal than that. We're at the time of year when darkness falls earlier and earlier. I can wake up in the morning in the dark, go to school, and by the time I leave school, it's dark again. Staying inside for most of the daylight hours, I feel a sense of eeriness and somehow still surprise when I walk out to my car in the parking lot under the cover of darkness. In this week's Torah portion, we read about an encounter that one of our ancestors, Jacob, has in the night. Jacob, fleeing his violent older brother, is forced to find a place to rest, to sleep, to take shelter in the night. And when he does, he has a dream that he encounters God. In a moment where he's feeling especially vulnerable, in the middle of the night, in a dark desert alone, he dreams that angels are going up and coming down from heaven. Upon waking, the very first thing he says is, "Surely Adonai, God, is present in this place, and I didn't even know it." It can often be hard enough to find God during the daytime, when things are clear, all the more so at night, when it's harder to see it all. Jacob's surprise at an intimate encounter with the divine is understandable. Generations before Jacob, our tradition gives us a midrash, a rabbinic imagining of a scene that we don't have laid out for us clearly. Some of you may have heard a version of it when Rabbi Karen spoke about it on Rosh Hashanah. The midrash tells us that Adam, the very first person, exactly at our time of the year, the winter solstice, notices that daylight is getting shorter and shorter, and he exclaims, "Oy li, woe is me. Perhaps because I have sinned, the world around me is getting darker and darker, returning to a state of tohu vavohu, of chaos and confusion." Adam stays awake all night, fasting, crying, praying, and Eve stays awake with him, sitting by his side, weeping. When light begins to creep in at daybreak, Adam says, "This is the way of the world." Adam sits passively in fear and shame, weeping about his own possible misdoings that brought upon this darkness. But eventually, he is comforted, knowing that this is the cycle of the world. There is darkness, but eventually there will be light. The Midrash gives us one more peek into Adam's experience of light, the very first sunset of the world after Adam's creation. Adam sat in the Garden of Eden, having been in existence for such a short time, and suddenly, the world, the only world he ever knew, began to darken. Adam was terrified, thinking, "Surely this darkness will envelop me." Adam had no idea if the light would ever return. But what did God do for Adam? God prepared Adam 2 flint stones for him to strike against each other. In the midst of the darkest moment that Adam had ever experienced, he hit the flint against each other, and light came forth. These stories paint 2 of the ways that we can move through darkness. We can wait with hope and confidence that the darkness will pass, that it is the way of the world for light to eventually creep in. We can find a place to sleep, like Jacob, and let God encounter us. We can be together with the people who comfort us, like Adam and Eve, who sat together all night. Sometimes this is all we can do. We're tired, we're afraid, the darkness is enveloping, and we feel out of control. The other option is to find a way, some way, to push the darkness out with light, to find the flint in our lives and actively strike it together so that we can create the light that eradicates darkness. Certainly, it's no coincidence that Hanukkah happens at the darkest time of the year, the time of the year that we need light the most. For when it is the darkest, light shines the brightest. We light Hanukkah candles one at a time, slowly increasing the amount of light. We can't get rid of darkness in a flash, but we can incrementally brighten the world. We can soften the fright of the night to make it livable, bearable, and maybe even divine. Whether we're able to recognize that God was here all along, to recognize that there are people to sit in the darkness with, to recognize that we hold the power to create light, there are many mechanisms to move through darkness, and I bless us all that we're able to tap into one of them. Shabbat Shalom. And if you'll join us, we will turn to page 44 for Shabbat reading of Vishamru.
Veshamru Bnei Israel et HaShabbat La'asot et HaShabbat Ladortam Berit Olam Veshamru Bnei Israel et HaShabbat La'asot et HaShabbat Ladortam Berit Olam Beni uven Bnei Israel Oti leolam Veshamru Bnei Israel et HaShabbat La'asot et HaShabbat Ladortam Berit Olam Ki sheshet yamim Asa Adonai et hashamayim ve'et ha'aretz Veshamru Bnei Israel et HaShabbat La'asot et HaShabbat Ladortam Berit Olam Uvayom hashvi Shavat v'inafash Shavat v'inafash Shavat v'inafash Veshamru Bnei Israel et HaShabbat La'asot et HaShabbat Ladortam Berit Olam Veshamru Bnei Israel et HaShabbat La'asot et HaShabbat Ladortam Berit Olam invite you to rise in body or in spirit. Page 46, we enter the tefillah. Adonai, sefatai tiftach, ufi yagid tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei avotenu ve'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzhak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el HaGadol, HaGibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomer Chasadim Tovim, V'konei hakol, V'zocher chasdei avot v'imot, U'mevi yola lifneihem, Leman shemo be'ahava, Melech ozer u'moshia u'magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magid Avraham, Vezrat Sarah. Atah gibor le'olam Adonai, Mechayeh hakol atah rav lehoshia, Mashih haruach morid hagashem, Mechalkel chayim bechesed, Mechayeh hakol berachamim rabim, Somech noflim verofeh cholim, Umatir asurim, Umekayem emunato, Lishenei afar, Michamocha bagevurot, Umidom melach, Melach memit umechayeh, Umatzmiach Yeshua, V'ne'emar atah lehachayot hakol, Baruch atah Adonai, Mechayeh hakol. Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, U'kadoshim l'chol yom yehalelucha selah, Baruch atah Adonai, Ha'el HaKadosh. On the top of page 53, days pass and the years vanish, and we walk sightless among miracles. God, fill our eyes with seeing and our minds with knowing. Let there be moments when your presence, like lightning, illumines the darkness in which we walk. Help us to see wherever we gaze that the bush burns unconsumed, and we, clay touched by God, will reach out for holiness and exclaim in wonder, how filled with awe is this place, and we did not know it. Blessed is the Eternal One, the Holy God. Continue silently, either with the words on the pages or the prayers from our hearts, and feel free to be seated when you are ready. We'll come back together on page 62. May the words of my mouth and the meditations of my heart be acceptable to you, Adonai, my rock and my redeemer. Yehi ratzonim refi v'hegion libi lefanecha. Yehi ratzonim refi v'hegion libi lefanecha. Adonai Tzuri, Adonai Tzuri, Adonai Tzuri, Vegoali. Adonai Tzuri, Adonai Tzuri, Adonai Tzuri, Vegoali. Yehi ratzonim refi vegion libi lefanecha. Yehi ratzonim refi vegion libi lefanecha. Adonai Tzuri, Adonai Tzuri, Adonai Tzuri, Vegoali. Adonai Tzuri, Adonai Tzuri, Adonai Tzuri, Vegoali. Yehi ratzonim refi vegion libi lefanecha.
We're now going to turn to page 253, the Mishaberach, which is a prayer that asks for a healing of mind, of body, of spirit, in all of the ways that we could use healing of ourselves, of our communities, and of the world. Rabbi Karen will read the list of Beth David's people who are in need of healing, and also anybody will have an opportunity to add someone who's on your heart and mind to the list.
We are especially praying for Colin Monroe, Enrico Mascaro, Benjamin Horowitz, Mateo Goldman, Esya Rushavskaya, Eileen Arnone, Jean Sands, Tom Fiorino, Jerry Spingarn, Joseph Sands, Ethel Sharonow, Rhea Rebecca, Sarah Bat David Viosefia, Rosalind Slifka, Shayna Mannheimer, Dorothy Lewis, Linda Wilson, Squirt Spingarn, Ray Burton, Ian Wellens, Mark Passman, Yehonatan, son of Shoshana and Abraham, Stephen Pastor, Rachel Bednarsh, Ruth Bat Malka, Jacqueline, daughter of Dolores, Leslie Wasserman, Aaron Wasserman, Maureen Morgan, Griffin, son of Beverly, Jeff Kublin, son of Ida, Robbie Kaufman, son of Miriam, Howie Kaufman, son of Miriam, Carrie Post, Rivka Bat Chana, Lev, son of Eugenia, Mark Albion, Nicolette Albion, Brian Folsom, Liz Atkins. If there are other names, you may share them with us. Mishaberach Avotenu Mekor HaBracha Leimotenu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing and let us say, Amen. Mishaberach imotenu mekor habracha lavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shelema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen. Yasher Koach, Sarah, for your words of Torah. We're not going to have a second sermon, so we're all set for tonight. But thank you for such a relevant message at this time of year, especially reminding us of our Torah portion as well, and waking up and discovering God. And, I would say that I remember those early days, but with two babies, we really don't remember anything. So at least you have some memory of it. And Sarah will be with us throughout Shabbat, helping to lead Tat Shabbat tomorrow morning at 9:30. I'm pretty sure Aubrey's going to help lead that as well. And thank you again, Michael McLaughlin. Always wonderful to have you and your music here with us at Beth David. Our Shabbat celebration will also continue at 9 a.m. in the library with our lay-led minyan. And you may have noticed our weekly shofar was so long this week because there's so many exciting things coming up. So just a few highlights. We have Shorashim Sunday morning along with our Sunday Sandwich Chavra SSH. So adults are welcome to volunteer as well for making lunches for homeless people. I believe it will begin at 10:45. And this Wednesday evening, we have a special guest for adult learning and our teen program. Her first name is Wiam. I'm not going to try to pronounce her last name, but she is getting her PhD at Brandeis. She'll be here teaching all about growing up in Morocco and Jewish life along with Muslim coexistence in Morocco. She has a fascinating story. That's this Wednesday at 7 p.m. All are welcome. And next Friday evening, next Shabbat, we have a special musical guest, Molly Begot. I am now learned how to pronounce her last name. So Molly is an up-and-coming musical artist. We've played some of her music along with Rabbi Batya and during our High Holy Days. And she will be with us Shabbat evening, 6:30 next Friday night. Really, she's got amazing music. So hopefully you can come out, help welcome Molly to our community. And Hanukkah happening next Sunday morning as well. So getting ready for Hanukkah. Charlotte, are you ready? Ready for Hanukkah? Yeah, we're getting there. All right. Yes, read your weekly email for everything else. Thank you to everyone who ushered and greeted us in this evening. Thank you, Tim, for live streaming. And since our president, Elena, is here, you want to make sure she doesn't email you. So just volunteer on your own to help us out. Otherwise, she'll email you. And we know that it takes all of us to come together on Shabbat. There is a light oneg in our social hall following our service. And we'll move into our concluding blessings. We're actually going to add the blessing for Rosh Chodesh Kislev. You can find it on page 261. Normally, we announce the new month, but it was Thanksgiving and our minds were on other things, so we didn't do it last Shabbat. So we'll announce the new blessing that has already begun, and you can join with me in the English. Our God and God of our ancestors, may the new month bring us goodness and blessing. May we have long life, peace, prosperity, a life exalted by love of Torah and reverence for the divine, a life in which the longings of our hearts are fulfilled for good. Rosh Chodesh Kislev began on Monday. So Chodesh Tov, a good month to everyone. And we'll look forward to days becoming a little bit more filled with light in another month. You can find Aleinu L'Shabeach on page 282, and we rise if you're able. Aleinu L'Shabeach L'Adon HaKol L'Tekedu L'Yotzer Breshit Shelo Asanu Kigoye Haratzot Velo Samanu Kimishpachot HaAdama Shelo Sam Chalkenu Kahem Vegor Aleinu Kechol Hamonam V'anachnu korim umishtachavim umodim lifnei malach malchei hamlachim hakadosh baruch hu v'ne'emar v'haya Adonai lemelech hakol haaretz Hahu bayom hahu yeh Adonai echad u'shemo echad. We remain standing and turn to page 291 in the words of Chanas Senesh. There are stars up above, so far away we only see their light, long, long after the star itself is gone. And so it is with people that we loved. Their memories keep shining ever brightly, though their time with us is done. But the stars that light up the darkest night, these are the lights that guide us. As we live our days, these are the ways we remember. We are especially remembering these loved ones whose yahrzeit, whose anniversary of death occur this week. Salvatore Aceta, Miriam Atkins, Susan Barkin, Goldie Burks, Anna Bloom, Morton Bornstein, Lawrence Kaplan, Leona Cohen, Julius Epstein, Gussie Fishman, Ann Fuller, Libby Greenberg, Stephen Kravitz, Ruth London, Barbara Popper, Ann Schwartz, Stanley Sherman, Das Wellens, Celia Wilson, Meyer Wilson. If there are other loved ones whose names you are remembering, you may share them with us. Zecher Tzadik Livracha, may their memories be for a blessing as we join in Mourner's Kaddish, page 294. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, be'alma divra chirute v'yamlich malchute, b'chayechon uv'yomechon uv'chaye dechol beit Yisrael, ba'gala uv'yizman kariv v'imru amen. Yehi shmei Rabbah mevorach leolam ulamei amaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar v'yitale v'yitalal shemei dekudsha b'richu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata. Damiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehi shlama Rabbah min shemaya. V'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom. Aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. And I see many of you here tonight are observing yahrzeit. May their memories live on. Becca, would you do us the honors of leading us in Kiddush on page 5? You can keep your finger on 294 for our concluding prayer, and please join us.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, אשר קידשנו במצוותיו ורצבנו, ושבת קדשו באהבה וברצון הנחיל לנו, זיכרון למעשה וראשית, כי הוא יום תחילה למקראי קודש, זכר ליציאת מצרים. כי בנו בחרת ואותנו קידשת מכל העמים, ושבת קדשך באהבה וברצון הנחלתנו. ברוך אתה אדוני מקדש השבת.
We'll save some call up for him. Speaking of that melody, this morning we had parents, grandparents, special guests visit our Shalom Corner preschool for Shabbat. Full room, lots of young people celebrating Shabbat. And before we conclude, because past President Paul Greenberg taught us all an important Hebrew word when you were president, the word kesher, or connection. Here at Beth David, we're all about connections. So just want to give a shout out. Mazel tov, Susan and Evan Kaplan. Your daughter Danielle recently got married, and I had the honor of standing under the chuppah with her and Connor. And I will have the honor of marrying Zelena and Seth's daughter, Anne, to her fiance later this spring. And I just have to say, I asked both of your daughters if they knew each other, and they weren't sure, but just want to make sure you guys know each other. So lots of simchas and good things happening here at Beth David. Let's join in our concluding prayer for peace. May the one who makes peace above bring peace here amongst all of us. Oh, say shalom. Tamim romav. Oh, say shalom. Tamim romav. Hu ya'aseh shalom. Hu ya'aseh shalom. Hu ya'aseh shalom. Aleinu. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. Oh, say shalom. Bim romav. Oh, say shalom. Bim romav. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom. Your guess is as good as mine. Yeah.